You've never actually run your code. Not once, not a single time. What's running is a translation. Of a translation, sometimes 3 translations deep. The program that does this translation, that turns the English you write into the electricity CPU reads, is called a compiler. And today we open it up.
Think about what happens when you write a Python function. You type English words, def, return, if, print. You press run. Something happens, but what exactly? The CPU, the thing actually doing the work, has never seen any of those words. It can't read Python, it can't read English. It can only execute machine code. Raw binary instructions that look nothing like what you wrote. Something has to bridge that gap. Something has to take your words, your intentions, and translate them into something a machine can execute. That something is a compiler. Here's what makes compilers fascinating. They don't just translate word by word. They analyze the structure and correctness of your code, optimize it, catch errors before the program runs, and produce output that is often faster than anything a human could write manually.
Compiler is not magic. It's a program that reads your program and produces another program. We will compress the compiler design into 4 big ideas. Real compilers often have more stages, but these 4 are the ones that matter for understanding what actually happens.
Stage 1. Lexing. The compiler reads your source code character by character and breaks it into tokens. Tokens are the smallest meaningful units. The keyword if is a token. The number 42 is a token. The plus sign is a token. At this stage, the compiler doesn't know what anything means. It just knows what kind of thing each piece is. Stage 2. Parsing. The compiler takes the token stream and builds a tree, the abstract syntax tree, or AST. This tree captures the structure and meaning of your code. It knows that the greater than sign connects x and 5. It knows the if governs everything below it. It's compiler's understanding of your logic. Stage 3. Optimization. The compiler looks at the AST and asks, can I make this faster? Can I eliminate redundant calculations? Can I rearrange operations without changing the meaning? This is where modern compilers earn their reputation. Modern compilers often outperform handwritten low-level optimizations, not because they're smarter, but because they can analyze the entire program at once. Stage 4. Code generation. The compiler takes the optimized AST and produces machine code. Actual binary instructions for the specific CPU architecture. x86 on your laptop, ARM on your phone. Compiled programs target specific operating systems and architectures, which is why the same source code needs to be compiled separately for each platform. Let me make this concrete. You write a function in C, 2 lines, adds 2 numbers. You run it through GCC. What actually happens? First, GCC lexes it. Your function becomes a stream of tokens. Int, add, open paren, int, a, comma, int, b, close paren. Each one tagged and classified. Then GCC parses it, builds the AST, understands that this is a function that takes 2 integers, adds them, and returns the result. Not just characters, meaning. Then optimization. GCC notices this function is simple enough to inline to replace every call to it with the actual addition, eliminating the function call overhead entirely. And finally, code generation. Your 2-line function becomes 4 bytes, 8D, 04, 37, C3. That's the add instruction and the return. 4 bytes. That's your entire function in the language the CPU actually speaks. Alright, let me show you what GCC actually produces from this function. First, I'll ask it to stop at the assembly stage. As you can see, we have our previous add.c file. Let's go ahead and say gcc o2-s-o add.s add.c. Let's say cat.s. Look at this. Liel takes the value in RDI, adds the value in RSI, puts the result in EAX. Ret returns, that's it. Your 2 lines of C become 2 assembly instructions. Now, let's go 1 level deeper. The actual byte. Let's say objdump-d add.o. Look at the left column. 8D, 04, 37. 3 bytes. That's the add instruction. C3, 1 byte. That's the return. 4 bytes in total. That's your entire function. That is what becomes electrical signals inside the CPU. And what about Python? Python also compiles, but bytecode, not machine code. Let me show you. Let's say python 3-c, and let's say import this lambda a, comma b, colon a plus b, and let's run it. 5 bytecode instructions for 1 Python addition. Each of these then gets interpreted by CPython, which is itself compiled C code, which produces machine instructions. 3 layers of translation for 1 plus sign. That is the cost of Python's flexibility. Now, Python. Python feels like it runs your code directly. But that's not what actually happens. CPython, the standard Python interpreter, first compiles your source code into bytecode. Then, a virtual machine executes that bytecode. Python absolutely has a compilation step. It just doesn't produce machine code. It produces an intermediate language that runs inside Python virtual machine. Python actually does compile, but to bytecode, not machine code. PyC files in your project, those are Python's compiled output. Then a program called the Python interpreter reads that bytecode and executes it. 2 layers of translation instead of 1, which is exactly why Python is slower than C. This is also why NumPy is fast. When you write a Python for loop, that loop runs in the Python virtual machine, slow. When you call NumPy matmul, that function is compiled C code running directly on the CPU, same principle as PyTorch. Python is the interface. Compile code does the heavy lifting. Here's why compilers matter for AI specifically. When you write a PyTorch code to train neural network, Python interprets it, but the actual matrix multiplications, the core of every forward pass, every backward pass, those don't run in Python. They run in compiled C++ and CUDA code, directly on the GPU. Python is just the interface. This is why PyTorch feels fast, even though you're writing Python. The heavy lifting is done by compiled code running on the hardware specifically designed for matrix operations. Python handles the logic. Compiled code handles the math. And newer AI compilers like TensorRT, XLA, which is used by Google, and Torch.compile, added in PyTorch 2, go one step further. They compile your Python model definition into optimized GPU kernels. Your Python code turned into machine code that runs on silicon. The same chain we've been talking about, but ending in a GPU instead of a CPU.
CPU, memory, operating system, compilers. 4 videos, 4 layers. We started at the transistor. We're now at the thing that turns your words into transistor signals. Next video, we climb higher. We stop looking at hardware and start looking at intelligence. How does a machine learn? From instructions or from data? If this video changed how you think about your computer, then hit subscribe. I'm Hex1000, Logic Behind the Code, signing out.